everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Hollyoaks' stay is to make a big mistake next week, as his theories about his late husband James Nightingale continue. James died just before the show's time jump, in the dramatic car explosion that also left Steve in a coma for the next year. He is attempting to get his life back on track and is currently living with his sister Leela while looking after his daughter Leah's baby, who she called James as a tribute. But Steve has been struggling to focus, as he firmly believes that his late husband is still alive and wants to get to the truth. His theory is that Rex is holding James captive somewhere, after overhearing him making a mysterious phone call and finding one of his ties on the Love Boat. Steve dug up James' grave to find that his urn was empty. Then he found a stack of notes on the desk in the garage that were written by his husband and addressed to him. He explained this to his grief counselor and told her that he was going to get close to Rex in a bid to try and find out where James is being kept. But later, in a tragic twist, viewers realized that most of the pieces of paper were actually blank, and it seems like Steve's theory about James is all in his head. Perhaps as part of the psychosis storyline that actor Kieran Richardson recently told Digital Spy about. In scenes that will air next week, Steve's story will continue as he finds out new information that makes him even more suspicious. Steve sees Rex talking to Misbah and overhears the pair having a conversation about someone being in her house. They could be talking about the recent robbery that Donnie staged as part of a scheme to claim on the insurance and pay off the loan sharks he owed money to. Rex would know about this because he was originally going to carry out the break-in, but Robbie stepped in when he decided to turn down the job. But Steve assumes that they were talking about James, and he challenges her about what he has overheard. While Steve has made a mistake, what will he do next? The air in Hollyoaks felt colder that morning, a biting chill that crept through the village, settling heavily over the dog in the pond. Steve sat hunched over a mug of tea, staring blankly at the steam rising in front of him. His usually restless energy was subdued, replaced by a gnawing sense of dread. Something wasn't right. James Nightingale's death had rocked the village to its core. The dashing lawyer, known for his sharp tongue and even sharper suits, had been a central figure in so many lives. His sudden and mysterious demise left a gaping hole, and whispers of foul play were spreading like wildfire. Steve hadn't been able to sleep since the night it happened. James had called him, his voice strained but urgent. "Meet me at the law office, Sete. It's important, don't tell anyone." Steve's stomach churned as he replayed the conversation for the 100th time. He had gone to meet James, but by the time he arrived, the office was dark. The only sign of James was a faint trace of his cologne lingering in the air. Steve had assumed he missed him, and after waiting for nearly an hour, he'd gone home. The next morning, James's body was found at the edge of the village, his car submerged in the river. Everyone assumed it was an accident at first, but the autopsy revealed something far more sinister. James hadn't drowned, he'd been poisoned. The discovery sent shockwaves through Hollyoaks, and the police were now investigating the case as a murder. Steve's hands trembled as he lifted the mug to his lips. He couldn't shake the feeling that he'd made a mistake, that somehow he'd missed something vital that night. Guilt gnawed at him like a relentless predator, and he couldn't help but wonder if he could have saved James. "You look like you've seen a ghost," Sienna Blake's voice broke through his thoughts. She slid into the seat opposite him, her piercing gaze locking onto his. "What's going on, Steve?" Steve hesitated. Sienna wasn't exactly the person he trusted most, but she had a knack for getting to the bottom of things. "It's about James," he admitted reluctantly. "He called me the night he died, told me to meet him, but when I got there, he was already gone." Sienna's expression darkened. "And you didn't think to tell the police this?" "I didn't think it was important," Steve snapped defensively. "But now, I dunno. It's been eating me up. What if he was in trouble and I could have helped him?" Sienna leaned back, her lips pursed in thought. Did he say anything else? Did he sound scared? Steve shook his head. just told me to come and not to tell anyone. But I've been thinking, what if someone found out he called me? What if that's why he's dead? Sienna's eyes narrowed. Do you think someone was watching him? Steve shrugged helplessly. I don't know. But what if whoever did this thinks I know something? Before Sienna could respond, the pub door swung open, and Detective D.S. Cohen stepped inside. Her sharp eyes scanned the room before landing on Stay. She approached with purpose, her notepad already in hand. Mr. Hay, I need a word, she said briskly. Steve's heart sank. What about? It's about James Nightingale. We've uncovered some new evidence, and I understand you might have information relevant to the investigation. Sienna's hand brushed Steve's under the table, a subtle warning to stay calm. Steve nodded, trying to steady his breathing. Okay. What do you want to know? D.S. Cohen's gaze didn't waver. Did James contact you the night he died? Steve's throat went dry. He could feel Sienna's eyes boring into him, willing him to choose his words carefully. Yeah, he did, he admitted. He asked me to meet him at his office, but when I got there, he wasn't around. I didn't think much of it at the time. D.S. Cohen scribbled in her notepad. Did he mention why he wanted to see you? No, Steve said quickly. He just said it was important. Did you see or hear anything unusual while you were waiting? She pressed. Steve hesitated, his mind racing. Should he tell her about the faint sound of footsteps he'd heard, or the shadow he glimpsed through the frosted glass of the office door? But what if it led them to the wrong conclusion? What if it implicated him? No, he lied. It was quiet, dead quiet. D.S. Cohen's expression didn't change, but Steve could tell she wasn't entirely convinced. Thank you for your time. If you remember anything else, no matter how small, let us know. As she left, Sienna leaned in, her voice low and urgent. Why didn't you tell her about the shadow, or the footsteps? Steve glared at her. Because I don't know what they mean. What if I'm wrong and it's nothing? And what if it's everything? Sienna shot back. You're playing with fire, Sete. If the police find out you've been withholding information, it'll make you look guilty. Steve buried his face in his hands. He thought keeping quiet was the safest option, but now he wasn't so sure. Every decision felt like a potential misstep, a trap waiting to spring. Later that night, Steve found himself drawn to James' office. The building was dark and deserted, the air thick with an eerie stillness. Steve pushed open the door, his heart pounding as he stepped inside. The faint scent of James's cologne still lingered, and the memories of their last conversation came rushing back. He moved to James's desk, his fingers trailing over the polished wood. A stack of papers caught his eye, and he began rifling through them, searching for, he didn't even know what. Answers. Clues. Anything to make sense of James's death. A noise behind him made him freeze. He turned slowly, his breath catching as a figure emerged from the shadows. It was someone he recognized, someone he never expected to see there. You shouldn't be here, stay, the figure said, their voice low and dangerous. Steve's blood ran cold. What are you doing here? Did you have something to do with James? The figure stepped closer, their expression unreadable. James knew too much. And now, so do you. Before Steve could react, they lunged at him, and the room erupted into chaos. Furniture toppled, papers scattered, and Steve fought desperately to escape. As he broke free and ran into the night, one thing became clear. His mistake had been coming here alone. And now, the truth about James's death was more dangerous than he'd ever imagined. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Hollyoaks Update YouTube channel for more update news.